Hello, welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. We are back for more Sunday lunchtime Championship football as Coventry take on Millwall at the Coventry Building Society Arena. The home side under Mark Robbins have once again risen up the table this season as they started shaky, but have lifted themselves up towards the playoff places as they are currently 3 points off Sunderland, who take up that final playoff spot. And Coventry do come into this game off the back of a FA Cup replay win this week against Sheffield Wednesday, where they won by 4 goals to 1. The Travellers Millwall have been under new head coach Joe Edwards since early November and have lost half of the games he has been in charge of. Once a coach of Thomas Tuchel, Edwards has struggled in his first solo job in senior football at Millwall, and they are only 4 points off the drop. The last win for the away side was 6 games ago now at Bristol City on New Year's Day, going a month without a win. When these two sides met earlier on in the season, late November, Coventry came out 3-0 winners at the Den with goals from Godden, Sakamoto and Sheaf. It was also Joe Edwards' first home game in charge of Millwall. It could be more of the same, with Coventry only losing once all season at home in the league, which came to West Brom at the end of October. So for the 81st meeting between Coventry and Millwall, will any side take away a valuable 3 points? Both sides need 3 points. Both need it for completely different reasons. Millwall want to try and push up the table and not scare themselves with relegation, as last season they were literally 1 point off the playoffs. So they've had quite the dip this season. They have not had a very successful campaign. They parted ways with Gary Rowett in October after he spent around 4 years at the club. And for Coventry, 3 points would put them right up there with the playoff positions. They are 3 points off those playoff spots at the moment. And if they were to win today, they would go into the playoffs on goal difference above Sunderland, who also managed to pick up a victory yesterday at home to Plymouth. And as always in the Championship, the playoffs places are so close in terms of the positions of each side. There's always about 10 teams that are going for playoff positions. When you reach this time of the season, when you've just got under half of the season left, it always gets really tense and tight in those playoff positions, and it can also get quite close in the relegation places. On paper, Millwall probably do have a good enough squad compared to others to stay up, but your position in a league table is never given to you. You've got to earn it. You've got to make sure you survive. And like I say, for Millwall, it'll just be disappointing the way that they've had such a good season last time out, finishing in 8th position. Season before that was 9th, and then 11th, then 8th. So they've had such a good consistent run of finishes, even though they haven't finished in playoffs. It's been very positive for them to finish around the playoff places, and you just hope that this season they would have been able to have pushed on slightly, but that just has not been the case, unfortunately. And they are under the new head coach of Joe Edwards. He's been at the club now for around 3 or 4 months, took charge of 16 games, 15 of them in the Championship, and he's only been able to win 4 of his games in charge so far, and that came in a run. A majority of them came in a little run that they had, where they were 5 unbeaten from the 16th of December to New Year's Day, where they picked up 3 wins in a row against QPR, Norwich and Bristol City. So you would have thought that may have been the start for them to push up the table, but unfortunately it's all been halted a little bit after no wins in their last 5, unfortunately, and 4 of those 5 have ended in defeat. And they come to a Coventry side at home who usually, the last season they were good at home, this season they're even better. Just the 1 loss so far this season at home. We actually commentated on the game, in fact, when West Brom came to Coventry and won by 2-0, I believe, but they haven't lost in their last 8 home games in the league. Coventry, their last home win, in fact, in the league came against Leicester. Back on the 13th of January against top of the league, so they obviously can beat anyone on their day, Coventry, and that will probably mean for Millwall this could be a long afternoon for them. It might be a long journey back as well, but they have to believe, because if they don't believe, then you can't get anywhere in football. You've got to have at least some belief that you can come away from the game and pick some points up. But last time out, they were battered by Coventry 3-0 at the Den. It was Joe Edwards' first home game in charge, and the worst part about it was Millwall had 20 shots and 63% of possession. Coventry only had 11 shots and had obviously less of the ball, and they won 3-0. I think with a coach like Joe Edwards, who is so young at 37, he's known for his coaching ability and improving players. I think he's one of them. If you give him time, get Millwall safe this year, and just rebuild for next season. Give him the transfer window in the summer. Give him the start of next season. And if if things aren't going right, then you might look to change. But I think with a coach like Joe Edwards, who's worked under Lampard, who's worked under Tuchel in his coaching work so far, I think he's definitely one for the future, and you've just got to give him a little bit of time, because I think at this point of the season, I don't think there's any saving it for Millwall. I don't think they'll be able to push up the table quick enough to get anywhere near playoffs, obviously. So I think if you just see the season through, build a squad for next season under Joe Edwards, and then see if he can pick up the results, and if he can't step up to the standard, the Championship, as a manager and a head coach, then you might look to make a change. But I think at the moment, I think it'd be a bit silly just to let him go so soon, when he's obviously inherited a squad that isn't his. He's had a January transfer window to try and bring in a few players, and not loads was brought in, but a few decent players were brought in. The likes of Obafemi from Burnley up front. They've got Tanganga at the back from Spurs, and on the bench they brought in Adam Mayer, left winger from Morecambe for 300 grand from League Two. So they brought a few players in, but nothing, revolutionary to really change the squad straight away. With the fact that two of those players are loaned players till the end of the season, so we won't even have them for next year. But we are just a couple minutes away from kick-off. We'll go through both sides now quickly. In goal for Coventry, Brad Collins has remained in goal after taking up the first team goalkeeping spot from Ben Wilson. Four at the back, Milan Van Evik and Jay De Silva play at full-back, and then two centre-halves of Louis Binks on loan from Bologna in Italy, and Joel Latibaldia, who's always joined in the summer, but he's now captain of the side today, which is a fantastic achievement for the Jamaican centre-back. Three in midfield, Josh Eccles, Victor Torp and Callum O'Hare, just playing slightly in front of them, and then three along the front, Sakamoto on the right, Palmer on the left, and Haji Wright leading the line. He's got 8 championship goals so far, and he scored in their last game in the week in the replay against Sheffield Wednesday for Millwall. It is Sarkic in goal, signed in the summer from Wolverhampton Wanderers. He did miss the start of the season with a muscle injury. Back five of McNamara, Harding, Cooper, Tanganga and Bryan. And then it looks like it might be a 2 in the midfield with George Honeyman and Casper Denor, and a 3 leading the line. On the right is going to be Zian Fleming. On the right is going to be Romain Esse, who is only 18 years of age. He's a current under-19 international, and leading the line up front will be Michael Obafemi, who's making his second start in a row for Millwall. He did start in their last game against Hull, which was a 1-0 home defeat, unfortunately, at the Den. And he only made 2 appearances for Burnley in the Premier League this season against Arsenal and Sheffield United. He did suffer with a hamstring injury at the start of this season, Michael Obafemi, so he's just starting to get back into match fitness, and hopefully in the Championship, where he's done it before, he can start scoring the goals for Millwall, because the last time Michael Obafemi was in the Championship, he did score 5 goals, 3 for Swansea and 2 for Burnley when they were promoted last season as champions. And overall, he is a definite Championship quality player, Michael Obafemi. And Joe Edwards, the Millwall head coach, will want him to start firing now. During his loan spell, was brought in on the 23rd of January, so he has been at the club now for around 3 weeks, and it is a difficult place to come, taking on Mark Robins' Coventry side. It's his second spell at the club, spent a year at Coventry from 2012 to 2013, and then rejoined in March 2017 when the club was in fact relegated in League One to League Two, and then in his first full season he got them up back to League One through the playoff positions, and now he's really brought them right through up to the Championship to be a near Premier League side. They came ever so close at the end of last season, but it was penalty heartache at Wembley for them. But it is looking like more of the same for this season for Coventry. They're aiming for those playoffs. They can get back into those spots if they pick up 3 points today. And we are underway here at Coventry Building Society Arena. Millwall have kicked us off, kicking right to left. Coventry left to right. Millwall have sent it forward, high down their right-hand side. It's been headed away by Coventry for a throw-in. And in the final third here, Millwall will put in an early long throw for Yaphet Tanganga. So a positive start for the away team, who are going to pile on pressure straight away to Coventry. The throw-in is long. It goes in towards the near post. It's been flicked on all the way through, and it's a big save already that's had to be made by Brad Collins. The corner has been awarded. It's a huge throw by Tanganga. The flick on at the near post was put in there by, I think it was Harding, and I think there was an extra touch on there before it went through for the shot. Harding won the first flick on. The second touch came off Hadji Wright for Coventry, and literally a yard out, Honeyman, in fairness, could only hit it at the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper was so close to the ball, he couldn't really direct it away from the goalkeeper. So he's just kicked it forward there, Honeyman, and it's been saved pretty well there by Brad Collins. He was very brave in the save, but Millwall have another chance to put it in the box through the corner. Right on the goalkeeper it goes. He punches away with his right fist. Honeyman will chase it down the Millwall right, and he wants to play forward here. He plays a ball over the top, looking for Esse. Finds him, turns away here from Binks, down the byline. Can he cross? He can. It's a flicked header away by Eccles. Back out to Honeyman outside the area. Crosses it in from the right-hand side. Header won by Latibardia. And it can be built out from the back now for Huddersfield. O'Hare on the ball into the path of Sakamoto. He will get there before Wes Harding and plays it down the right here to Hadji Wright, just outside the area. He's been forced to go backwards here to Van Evik. And it's now Coventry's attempt now to build an attack as they do go back to the halfway line with centre-half Latibardia. But that's a very positive start there from Millwall, forcing a save from Collins early on. As it's Coventry down the right-hand side with Van Evik in the final third. He's got everything to his left here. Goes inside to Torp. Through for Palmer, well cut out by Cooper. Loose ball drops here to Obafemi. 1-2 with Harding. Plays it to McNamara here in a right wing-back position just inside the area. Goes back to the goalkeeper, Sarkic, and he clears it away. Can't find a Millwall player. Goes through to Binks at the back for Coventry. And they can build once again, as maybe the tables will turn here, and it'll be Coventry to dominate after a opening 2 minutes from Millwall, which put Coventry under a lot of pressure. Well, Coventry did play here on Tuesday night in their FA Cup replay to Sheffield Wednesday, where they were able to win by 4-1. Took the lead in 3 minutes through Casey Palmer, pegged back to 1-1 within the first half, and then scored 3 second-half goals in 8 minutes to get themselves through to the 5th round, where they'll take on Maidstone at home, which a live commentary of that will be coming to the channel, as it is still Coventry on the ball on the halfway line here with Torp. And Victor Torp signed in mid-January, from Sarpsborg for £2.1 million, and he's making his second start in a row for Coventry. Did provide the assist for their goal in their 2-1 defeat last week to Norwich, when they went 1-0 up through Callum O'Hare, but lost it 2-1 in the end with goals from Sargent and Saints for Norwich. Did involve a Liam Kitchen red card, hence why Louis Binks is starting today for Coventry at the back. The man on loan from Bologna is about 10 yards inside the Millwall half. There is a foul there from Yaphet Tanganga, and it will be a Coventry free kick. They've taken it quickly. We're in the centre circle of Eccles. Gets out to the left here to Casey Palmer. Just the one goal for him so far this season came in early December away at Sunderland. Did miss 12 games from mid-September to early December. But he's in now, and he's starting to link up well with the likes of O'Hare, which is a real danger duo to have in the attacking midfield positions. As it is still Casey Palmer trying to play out to the left. He can't quite catch the pass, but Omafemi gives it away to Sakamoto. Palmer threw out to the right to Van Evik in the area. Needs the cut back. Gets it. Sakamoto save. Falls to Hadji Wright. Saved off the line by Tanganga. Onto the post and into the hands of Matija Sarkic. How on earth has that not gone into the back of the net? It was a poor giveaway originally by Palmer, but then Obafemi gave it away for Millwall with a really poor touch. They got it down the right-hand side to Van Evik, whose cut back was perfect to Sakamoto, forced a solid save from the goalkeeper Sarkic. Then on the rebound from a couple of yards out, you thought that Hadji Wright had an easy tap-in, but it was saved off the line by Tanganga onto the post and into the hands of the goalkeeper. And both sides, 5 minutes in, have had huge chances, but it remains 0-0. I mean, that was probably the best one of the lot, because the one from Honeyman for Millwall he was right in front of the goalkeeper. It was hard for him to really direct it away from Coventry's number 40. But that one from Haji Wright, you felt like he had a bit more of the goal to aim at, but it was well blocked off the line by Tanganga, take nothing away from Millwall's number 6 on loan from Tottenham till the end of the season. But somehow still 0-0 here at Coventry Building Society Arena. As it is with Millwall's goalkeeper of Matija Sarkic. Spent last season on loan at Stoke, second half of the season. As the long ball finds Obafemi. He's got an option behind him. We'll go to Honeyman. It's now to the far side here to McNamara, who will drive inside from the right wing-back position and go across to Denor, who switches it to the left here to Joe Bryan. Signed this season in the summer on a free from Fulham after spending last season on loan in France with Nice, where he did only make 10 appearances for the French side. Did score, though, in the Conference League, as Cooper sends it down the Coventry left, just slightly overhit, goes into the area, and it's into the hands of Collins. Was lucky for the run of Obafemi, as Eccles' touch gives it away to Obafemi, but then recovers there and pokes it up front towards Haji Wright, who's dispossessed on the halfway line by Honeyman. Forward now to Denor, trying to get away from Torp, and he does do so very well. Down this left-hand side, Casper Denor goes back towards Bryan. It goes away from him, but it will go through for Cooper, Millwall's number 5. And the away side stay in possession. Midway side, the Coventry half on the near side now with Denor. Back to the halfway line here to Wes Harding, who did sign this season from Rotherham, who are now currently bottom of the league. He plays a great ball out to the right-hand side, controlled by McNamara. Lays off behind him to Honeyman, goes for an early cross into the box. It's a dangerous one. Header won on the edge of the 6-yard box by Van Evik, and then volleyed away there by Torp. Headed forward by Cooper. Headed away to the right by Torp again for Coventry. And they're the side in possession at the moment, inside their own half with Torp, who turns away beautifully from Denor and gets it down the right channel here to Callum O'Hare, who's got Haji Wright making a run in the area. Chops back instead to keep the ball away from the Millwall plays, and eventually works across, which is pretty weak in the end. The header won by Cooper. And it's now with Joe Bryan on the edge of the box for Millwall. Plays it forward, flicked on by Obafemi, but no one's ran behind him. And it'll be an easy collection of possession there for Van Evik. It remains here 0-0 in a game where we've had 2 pretty big chances already. Neither of them were taken by Honeyman for Millwall and then Haji Wright for Coventry. As for the home side, their last loss before the defeat to Norwich last week was actually against Ipswich on the 2nd of December, so they had gone on quite a long unbeaten run. Coventry before last week's defeat to other playoff hopeful Norwich, as it's a ball forward to Haji Wright on the left-hand side. Last touch comes off the Coventry striker, so it'll be a Millwall throwing on the halfway line on the far side. Still waiting for it to be taken, as it's going to be Yaphet Tanganga to take it. We know he can throw it long, so if they want to go down the line and really push up into the Coventry half, they can do so. He's gone short instead to Honeyman. Back into the Coventry half here with number 5 Jake Cooper at the height of 6'6". He's absolutely massive, the former England under-20 international, as he switches it out to the right. Obafemi leaves it now for McNamara. He gets the pull back here. Obafemi turns, looks towards goal and shoots, and it's parried by Collins at the near post and volleyed by De Silva for Coventry. It's been a decent start for Millwall, who are currently 18th in the league at the moment, only winning 8 of their 32 games this season in all competitions, losing almost half of them, losing 15 of the 32. But Obafemi there, releasing a powerful shot, but it was just too close to the goalkeeper at the near post, as Millwall go long up towards Fleming, goes over the head of the attacker and into the hands of Collins in the 18-yard area. As it play out from the back with Louis Binks, English born in Gillingham, but has played in Montreal in America before moving to Bologna in 2020. They'd come through the Spurs Academy for 13 years before going international in his football career. Louis Binks did spend last season on loan in Serie B with Como, but his parent club is Bologna, as he has it here. Playing in the left centre-back position, down the line for De Silva on halfway. He helps it down the flank And O'Hare will chase it. Harding will get there first. Goes back to the goalkeeper, who will clear first time in the 18-yard box. Down the Millwall right towards Esse, who loses the header on Binks. And his headed clearance goes out for a Millwall throw-in. Yeah, pretty even start so far. Coventry's attack on the 5th minute was the best of the lot. Sakamoto. He actually hit the post twice, I think. Haji Wright's first attempt hit the post. And then it bounced off the post, off Tanganga, then onto the post a second time. I didn't even see that. That is ridiculous. Haji Wright should have scored. I thought his first shot was the one that was blocked off Tanganga onto the post, onto the goalkeeper's hands. But in fact, it was actually Haji Wright's first attempt that hit the post with no deflection. And then after it hit the post, it came off Tanganga and then onto the post for a second time. That's a big chance from Haji Wright, and he really should have scored it. That's poor from the American striker, who was signed for a record fee in the summer from Antalyaspor in Turkey, £7.7 million, as Millwall send it forward on the edge of the area, headed into the box by Cooper, cleared for Coventry, headed back by Honeyman here to Bryan, and we'll restart with the Millwall goalkeeper on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's Matija Sarkic. It will play out to the Millwall left here towards Cooper, who will flick it on really well to Fleming, who's going to run into the area from the left-hand side, wants to get onto his right foot, can't get away from Lati Baudia, but it deflects to the number 25 of Roman Esse. The 18-year-old gets his second goal of the season. It's his first since the opening day against Middlesbrough in a 1-0 away win. And there is a slice of fortune to it, but Millwall have put themselves right in this game from the off. And they are very deserving of a 1-0 lead. Coventry is a very difficult place to come to, but they have not looked phased. It started from a long ball from the goalkeeper out to the left to Cooper. And we've mentioned it already, but Jake Cooper is 6'6". He's absolutely massive. He won the flick onto Fleming, who entered the box from the left-hand side, wanting to get into his right foot. And as he was tackled there by Lati Baudia, the ball went loose, and it fell straight to Esse, who strike towards goal. Actually took a slight nick off Binks, the Coventry central defender. If the deflection doesn't happen, the goalkeeper might save it. But Roman Esse will not care. The 18-year-old's got his second of the season. He's come through the Millwall Academy. And here at the Coventry Building Society Arena, it is Coventry 0, Millwall 1. Not a bad goal there from Millwall, the way they went pretty route one with it. But when you've got a centre-back like Cooper, who's just giving it away on halfway to O'Hare, strides forward, tackled very fairly, though, by Honeyman, and he stops that Coventry attack immediately. And they'll build here with Esse, laying it off to his right to McNamara at right wing back, midway inside the Coventry half. He goes back to the halfway line here to Tanganga, who dribbles away from O'Hare, and then switches it out to the left where they've got a man. I thought they would have had a man over with the pass, but the ball from Tanganga was towards absolutely nobody. It goes out for a Coventry throw in here on the near side. Pretty poor from Yaphet Tanganga, who actually spent the first half of this season on loan at Augsburg, but never made an appearance due to a knee injury. He only made the bench once, so he was recalled in January and now is on loan in the Championship here with Millwall. He does have a contract at Tottenham until 2025, so he does expire next summer. As it's already back with Millwall on the halfway line here with Cooper. Just forward 10 yards to Honeyman. He's got Van Evik in front of him. Goes down the line to Bryan. Back into Honeyman. Inside to Denor. Honeyman once again, the number 39 for Millwall, who's played Coventry 6 times before. And this is a 7th, and he's played a beautiful ball in behind here. Cut back here for Obafemi. Saved by Collins and volleyed away by Van Evik. That was a fantastic ball down the right-hand side to find McNamara, who's cut back. Was a successful one. And Obafemi was the one to shoot again. It's his second attempt, but Honeyman, absolute defence-splitting pass. Got it in between Binks and De Silva on the Coventry left. And the cut back from 12 yards out. Obafemi shot again. Just 2 goals to the goalkeeper. He had one about 10 minutes ago where he hit it straight at Collins at the near post. And again, he's hit it straight at the goalkeeper. That pass from the halfway line, right down the byline from Honeyman to McNamara was beautifully done. Millwall are really showing what they can do under their head coach brought in November, Joe Edwards. There's Brian on the Millwall left here. Goes down the line to SA, who's already got 1 goal so far today. Honeyman across to Denor, then back into the centre circle here with Wes Harding. Goes 5 yards to his right to Tanganga, being closed down by Palmer, but finds McNamara, whose touch isn't great, but he can keep it away from Palmer. Back into Tanganga, and they'll restart with their goalkeeper here, Sarkic, who again will switch out to the left like he did for the goal. This time looking for Fleming, who can control it with his chest really well, and find Bryant. Now with Denor, left centre-back Cooper. Takes a touch in front of him, then relaxes because he's not really got anyone pressing him at the moment, but someone's pressing Denor after his heavy touch, and that's Callum O'Hare, who plays it forward here towards Hadji, right, header won by Harding, chested down by Honeyman towards Denor, who's then pulled down from behind by Callum O'Hare, and it'll be a free kick for Millwall. And what Millwall have done well so far is they've kept the likes of Callum O'Hare and Casey Palmer quiet, the 2 Coventry players who really make the difference. It is Millwall to have the lead. They haven't won since New Year's Day away at Bristol City, and the free kick is just about midway inside their own half here, Millwall. But they're going to send it long with the goalkeeper, who clips out to the right hand side on the edge of the box. Cooper will head it on, controlled by Omafemi, on the edge of the area, facing the goal, trying to get beyond 1 Coventry player, but that's 1 too many for him, and it can be cleared by Van Evik, straight back through for the goalkeeper, Sarkic, for Millwall, who again is going to go long, out to the right-hand side. Can they find the intended target? SA can't quite bring it down. And it's now with Binks in the 18-yard box for Coventry. He'll go across number 22, Lati Baldia, who's never lost in his previous 3 against Millwall. The former Swansea centre-back, making his 98th Championship appearance. It's Van Evik in a right-back position, puts a low ball down the line, finds O'Hare. His pass is behind Sakamoto, but kept forward by Torp. Misplaced pass, brought down by SA. Played forward to Denor by Honeyman. He's got a run in behind through Fleming, and he'll find him on the edge of the box. Lays it off behind him to SA, 25 yards from goal. Shifts it to the right here to McNamara, who will cross it deep towards the far post. It's a punch by Collins, hooked away by Sakamoto. Only for his Brian, who will strike from the edge of the area towards the far post, but it's always just going wide of the far post there from Joe Bryan, who's waiting for his first goal away from home for Millwall. The 2 he scored this season have come at home to Hull and Middlesbrough, most recently on the 13th of January. He's not scored away from home. That wasn't too far away. Good technique on the left foot with the volley, but just always dragging wide. I think they've really caught Coventry by surprise here, Millwall, the way they've started so strongly in the opening 18 minutes, gaining an advantage with a 1-0 lead. So it's Coventry to build from inside their own half. It's with Binks. Ball down the left channel. Can't find Hadji right. Header won by Harding. Hard to play for a Coventry throw-in. About 15 yards inside the Millwall half on that far side. With number 3, Jay De Silva. Gets the return from O'Hare. Then back into Binks. Who will drive forward into the Millwall half. Tackled by SA. Nothing given. Oh, yeah, I think the free kick was given eventually there. As McNamara also went in strong on Palmer, as Coventry have taken the free kick quickly. It's now with De Silva inside for right. Heads it away from Cooper and goes down under the challenge, and that'll be a free kick for Coventry. About 22 yards out on the edge of the area. Perfect angle for a right footer. It's a poor giveaway, that, from Cooper. Just needed to stand his ground, because this is like prime position to have a free kick from. Casey Palmer stood over it. So is Victor Torp. But it looks like Palmer is going to walk away from it. So it might be Victor Torp to let fly here. Former Denmark under-21 international, now at the age of 24. Moving to England in January for a £2.1 million fee. And it looks like he's going to try and let fly here. Already got 1 goal for Coventry. That came in the first game against Sheffield Wednesday in the FA Cup, the 1-1 draw at Hillsborough. Can he make it 1-1 here? Torp with the free kick over the wall. And was that touched behind for a corner? I think it was. He went for that top left corner. and it was perfectly over the wall, and he got a good enough dip on it to get it. I think it was going under the crossbar. Yeah, it was. It touched onto the crossbar by the goalkeeper. He's got really good technique there with the free kick, Victor Torp, because exactly why he was put on the set piece. And I think he's on this one as well. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinger from the corner. So Coventry have hit the left post have hit the bar. Nearly completed the woodwork challenge as the ball into the near post is sliced behind for another one by Casper Denor. Wasn't the most commanding of defending at the near post for the corner, but it's not gone in the back of the net, so job half done from Casper Denor because they've got to face another corner here from Victor Torp. Both arms in the air. It's more of a floater towards the penalty spot where it goes over the head of Haji Wright. Touch from Honeyman isn't great, but he can poke it away from Sakamoto. And it will go for a Coventry throw-in on this near side. About midway side the Millwall half with Milan van Ewijk, who was brought in the summer from Heerenveen from the Netherlands. First club ever outside of the Netherlands he's playing for. Van Ewijk, born in Amsterdam. Got 2 goals so far this season. His most recent one came in that home victory to Leicester City in mid-January. As we are in the Coventry half here with Binks. Goes to his left to Josh Eccles. Coventry born. Signed a contract extension last year till 2027. And that's a free kick there. McNamara again just been a bit too aggressive in his tackling. Pulling down Jay De Silva, who came through at Chelsea. And it's going to be a booking, actually, given by today's referee, Andrew Kitchen, who began officiating in the began his EFL officiating in the 21-22 season. And I believe it's going to be McNamara to be booked, or is it Esse? It's Romain Esse, the goal scorer with the booking. It may have been for dissent there, because it's definitely McNamara who committed the foul. I'm sure of it. So it's Esse in the book. And Coventry have it inside their own half with Louis Binks, only 22 years of age, the Gillingham-born centre-back. As we are midway inside, we are halfway through this first half, and it is Millwall who lead for an Esse goal, deflected off Binks. But Millwall have been well deserved of their lead. They have matched Coventry so far, and the rest. As another foul has gone against Millwall. This time Denor bringing down Torp. Let's have a look why this yellow card was given. Yeah, it was McNamara who gave away the foul, and Esse kicked the ball away as it was given. Almost acting like he was playing a pass through and behind because he didn't hear the whistle, Esse, but of course he heard the whistle. He just kicked the ball away just to delay the restart. So, booking given to the young 18-year-old who has got this game at 1-0. He's the goal scorer of the only goal so far. Scored in the 12th minute. This is his first goal since the first game of the season for Millwall in a 1-0 away win at Middlesbrough. Did play 12 times last season in the Championship and 1 time in the FA Cup, and didn't score or start for Millwall, but he's had a bit more of a progressive season in terms of his starts and goal scoring. As it's down the left-hand side for Millwall. Denor tackled in the final third by Van Ewijk. O'Hare forward to Haji Wright. Loses the ball here to Cooper on halfway. Honeyman switches it out to the right to McNamara. Inside to Esse. McNamara stopped the run and Esse's pass went forward. Good out by Binks. Van Ewijk in the area in a right-back position. Clears it forward. Comes off Fleming and it'll be a goal kick for Coventry. Been a good performer so far this season. Milan Van Ewijk, the right-back signing. Obviously, he's already got the 2 goals and he was brought in for £3.4 million. So it wasn't a cheap signing for Coventry, who have brought in 13 new players throughout the season. And they've got a very young side out. Their average age of their signings have been 23. And I think it says a lot that their captain for today is a new signing in the summer, and he's 24. And he only turned 24 last month, Lati Baudia. So it's a very young Coventry side that they've got. As it is, still Coventry on the ball. Eccles goes back to Binks just outside the 18-yard box in his defensive third here. He's looking for a ball forward. There isn't much on for him. The ball goes through for Palmer. Lays it off to O'Hare. Goes through to De Silva instead. His pass is short, cut out by Denor. Essay to his left to Obafemi. Tries to go on once more towards Fleming, but Obafemi thought he'd made the run forward to the edge of the box, and he hadn't, so the ball goes through for Coventry as Van Evik's tackled. It's now with Fleming towards the corner flag on the near side. 1-on-1 with the Dutch fullback. He goes forward to Denor. Back into Fleming. He wants to take on Van Evik if possible, but he has to play the pass to Bryan instead. He's charging towards the corner flag. Can work across before it goes out. The head is met by Lati Baudia and then volleyed by Torp, and it will be kept in for the moment and then seen out for a Millwall throw-in. But I'm sure for Millwall this is just more frustrating, the fact that they're seeing such a good performance when they haven't been performing at all in the last month or so. It shows that they've clearly got this performance in them. Just making sure they do this more consistently. Because this is one of the hardest places to come to in the Championship. They've only lost once this season at home in the league, and that was in October. As the clearance forward for Millwall is dealt with by Lati Baldia on the edge of the box. It's now back with the goalkeeper Brad Collins, who's took over from Ben Wilson as the number 1. 6 clean sheets in 15 in the Championship for Collins. We've now got Coventry in possession on the near side, down the line for O'Hare, who's really not been in the game so far for the home side, which is rare for Callum O'Hare, who's coming back this season after an ACL injury he picked up in December of 2022. And he's had an absolute blinding season since returning. He's got 9 goals altogether in all competitions, 3 in the FA Cup, 6 in the Championship. He's got 2 braces in the Championship, scoring against Birmingham, and then he did also score 2 in that 3-1 win to Leicester at home. And he is the real difference maker, but he's not quite been able to get in the game, Coventry's number 10 so far, as the ball is with the home side. Far side with Palmer, almost in the left-back position there, Casey Palmer, to receive the ball. It's now with Lati Baudia, goes to his right to Torp, who will drive the ball forward and plays it out to Van Evik, midway inside the Millwall half. He's got O'Hare to his left, plays it just behind him, but he can turn on it well. His pass is cut out, but it deflects here to Torp, forward to Sakamoto, out to the right to Van Evik. First time pass cut out by, I think that was Fleming, but it drops back to Van Evik, who's tackled a second time, and the loose ball this time drops to Millwall, towards the corner flag for Cooper, who needs to clear it. It deflects off Fleming to Bryan, who then loses out to Van Evik, and he catches the full back late. Bit of a mess from Millwall in the end. Just could not get rid of that ball, as it was cleared by Cooper in the end. Yeah, just a late one there by Bryan, and then he was sandwiched down by Fleming in the end. Just got nowhere near the ball, either of the Millwall players. I think it was Fleming, the one to bring him down eventually, but Bryan also had a nibble as well. He didn't get anywhere near the ball. So it will be a free kick on the right-hand side here. In the final third, it's going to be Victor Torp to take, who we've learnt in this game has got a fantastic cross on him and a good free kick in terms of a shot. He'll cross this in. It's headed on through to through the box from Honeyman, and it's going to be a throw-in on the opposite side for Coventry. O'Hare wants to take it quickly, but there's no real option on for him, so De Silva will take it. Then he'll go quick back to the halfway line to Binks. Forward to O'Hare, who stayed on this left-hand side. Now back with Binks again on halfway. Come on, Millwall, hope they win. As a Hull fan, good comment, thank you very much. Yeah, certainly for Hull fans, you definitely don't want to see Coventry pick up 3 points, and they've lost last week and they're losing today, so they are slipping up slightly in the playoff race here. Coventry, as Palmer keeps it in on the byline on the far side. He's 1-on-1 with Tanganga, nutmegs the Spurs low knee, but he tackles the ball away from him, but the ball falls back into the end of De Silva. Palmer keeps it away from Essay. Torp tries to find the run through to O'Hare in the edge in the 18-yard box, but Millwall intercepting. Can't quite clear convincingly, but De Silva gives it away to Denor. Across to Fleming, whose touch isn't great. Gives it away to O'Hare, who's caught late, but play will continue for the moment. And then it's pulled back for a free kick. Once again, Zian Fleming with the late challenge. I'll be surprised if he's not booked here, because the first one wasn't a clean challenge, and that second one looked a little bit out of control. But I think the referee is going to keep the cards in the pockets here. But it will be a Coventry free kick, half an hour played here, and the home side still trail. It's about 35, 40 yards out. Bit too far away for a shot. It doesn't really look like they're going to set up for a cross. No, they've gone short to Palmer. He's taken up a more central position at the moment as he plays it to the left to Torp. De Silva inside to O'Hare. Back to De Silva. Forward for Palmer. Back through for De Silva, who gets the touch down the byline. Can cut it across. It's parried by the goalkeeper. Headed by Denor out to the right to McNamara, who towards the corner flag plays it down the line here to Esse. Then down the flank looking for Fleming. Goes beyond him. And out for a Coventry throw-in. Who do you support? I don't usually disclose. I do support a Premier League side, but about 5 years ago, I started supporting a side more closer to. Well, it's not. I don't know. If it's not. I think they're similar distance actually. A little bit. Maybe the Premier League team's a little bit further, but I do go to Stockport County of League 2, season ticket holder. Have been for the last 5 years, because it was just a cheaper alternative, and it's probably one of the best things I've done. The memories I have got from supporting that side the last 5 years have been fantastic. But I do support a Premier League side as well, but it's just so expensive to go so regularly. You can feel a bit disconnected at times. And I just want, because I'm just so obsessed with football, I just wanted to go every week, and that was the next option. So I just started going, and then I've just become absolutely obsessed. So yeah, Big Six. Who knows? Might be, might not. No one's ever found out. I've never said on this channel. I just think it avoids any. I don't know, because I've commentated on them, my team, and I've commentated on them losing before, and it's a strange experience, because when you commentate on a side that you support and they lose, it's like because when I'm commentating, I'm so in the zone. It's only till like an hour or two after the game where it hits me that they've lost, and I get a bit like, oh, that's a bit rubbish. But during it, because it's football, it doesn't really bother me too much. It's only after where I'm like, oh, my team's just lost, brilliant. But it is Coventry on the ball, and we'll get a lot of this now, I think, with Coventry just dominating the possession, because they've got a goal to find in the fact that they're losing at the moment. I think Millwall are more than happy to sit back, because the shape they've deployed, it's an easy shape to just go really defensive in that 5-4-1. As Van Evik, final third, crosses through towards Hadji Wright. Last touch came off the striker, and it'll be a goal kick. Starting to click a little bit better, Coventry. They got off to a slow start. That's not taking anything away from Millwall. They've played fantastically so far. Their intensity in terms of their attacking has dropped off for Millwall. That's just because Coventry have got a bit more control of the game. Firstly, because they're at home, and secondly, because they're trailing. So they need that control, and I think Millwall are happy to give them that. So you don't celebrate when they score. If I'm commentating on them and they score, I'll just commentate on the goal like it's any other goal. I'm not more happier because they've scored. It's pretty similar. Obviously, in my head, I'm absolutely buzzing, but obviously there's a job to do here, so you can't let your loyalties distract you from the job. So, obviously, when I'm watching them away from the channel, I go crazy, of course. But if I'm commentating on them, I just commentate on it like it's any other goal, and yeah, it's afterwards when we win. I'll celebrate it properly. So we've got 10 minutes to go in this first half. I don't think Mark Robins, the Coventry manager, will be too worried at the moment. There's a lot of the game to play, and they are starting to gain control of it. But they do need to be careful, because Millwall are forward here, down the right-hand side. Good ball from Honeyman to Esse, right on the corner flag now. He's got Hadji right with him. That's going to be a goal kick, and it is. Just runs out of room on that far side. Romain Esse. Good defensive work from Hadji Wright, the striker. Doing a left-back role there. The American. LA-born striker. And it's Coventry with a goal kick. Playing out from the back. Van Evik runs out of room on this near side. Throwing for Millwall in the Coventry half. Thoughts on the whole squad? I think it's a very good squad, built very well to fight those playoff positions, which needed to be done. You needed to use the January market to bulk the squad up and just add more quality because, injuries can happen and stuff like that. There's O'Hare down the right-hand side. He cannot get to the ball first before Wes Harding. Strong defending from Millwall's 45, but his clearance can't be kept in with his weaker left foot. It'll be a throw-in for Coventry in the Millwall half, taken quickly down the line here by Torp to O'Hare. Now Sakamoto, who's barely been involved, the Japanese winger. Torp, 1-2. No, it's O'Hare to take it. Squares it. Palmer with the shot. And that is a very vital headed clearance by Wes Harding for Millwall. Well worked down the Coventry right. Torp went inside to Sakamoto, who poked it through for O'Hare, who cut it across for Palmer, about 12 yards out towards the near post. He shot across the goal to the far post, and it would have been a difficult shot to save for the goalkeeper, but that job was taken out of his hands as Wes Harding was able to glance it over the crossbar. And the resulting corner goes into the far post. Over the goalkeeper. Header won by Fleming. Kept alive by Sakamoto. Still in the area. Header won by Fleming again. All as far as De Silva. He's in the right wing position at the moment. Finds the ball inside to Sakamoto. Gets beyond Fleming. But then Honeyman on the recovery can take it away from the Japanese winger. Last touch off Sakamoto. And it'll be a throw in here for Millwall in a left back position. So it'll be Brian to throw it down the Millwall left, straight to Van Evik, who loses out with his pass to Denor. Clears it forward beyond the halfway line, down the Millwall left. No one to chase it for the away side, so it's an easy collection of possession for Binks. Latibaldia for Coventry strides forward up to the halfway line. Releases it to his right to Van Evik. It's now Victor Torp. All Millwall players behind the ball as Coventry have it in the centre circle with Binks. Back across to Latibaldia. Change of centre-backs from their last game against Norwich. Thomas dropped to the bench and Kitching was sent off. So it's Binks and Latibaldia today. Sakamoto's touch is heavy and it goes out for a Millwall throw-in right next to the corner flag on the near side. So they've got to be careful here not to lose possession in a dangerous area. Throw-in. Flicked on by Fleming, straight to the chest of Van Evik. Hooked over his head by Eccles to De Silva, who allows Eccles to take over once again. And we're still in the Millwall half. Eccles looking out to the right. Finding Van Evik, midway inside the Millwall half. Forward to Sakamoto, cut out by an aggressive challenge from Brian. Throwing quickly in behind Brian to Sakamoto. Can he keep it in? He can with across the box, which has been dealt with by Honeyman. It was aimed towards Hadji Wright. And Millwall have lost the ball again. Trying to play down the left-hand side. Gone out for a throw-in. Van Evik takes it quickly to Eccles. That's something Millwall's had to be wary of. When they're winning the ball back, they've got to try and keep it a bit better. They're just giving it back to Coventry a little bit too quickly. And they've got to use what they've got in the squad. They've got Obafemi up front, who will have pace in behind if they can try and get it up towards him if possible. O'Hare, poor touch, strong tackle from Tanganga, goes through to the Coventry half for Binks. They are defending resolutely at the moment, the away side, with something to hold on to at the moment. They have won 3 of their last 11 against Coventry. The last win against them in August of last season. 3-2 win at home. Came back from 2-0 down to win 3-2. Sakamoto in a right wing position, lays off of Van Evik in the final third. Through into the area for O'Hare. Sakamoto wants the 1-2, can't complete it. Loose ball drops to Van Evik, loses out to Brian, who tries to turn away from Sakamoto, runs out of room. And there'll be a throw in the final third for Coventry again on the near side. Taken quickly to O'Hare, relays it into Van Evik. Backheels it to Sakamoto. Ball to his left to Torp. 1-2 with O'Hare, can it be completed? No, it can't, cut out by Brian and cleared. But again, Can't find anyone up front for Millwall. They're sat so far back that when they do clear it long, no one's there to keep it. So Coventry just come at them once again as quickly as possible. With Palmer. De Silva through towards Hadji Wright down that left-hand side. Just couldn't quite take it under control, and it goes through for a goal kick. Not too far away, though. But the first time these two sides did meet was in 1908, 115 years ago. It was a Millwall 3-0 win. They have now played 80 times since then. This is meeting 81 between the two sides. And Coventry are looking to win 3 consecutive league games against Millwall for the first time since December 1955, sorry. So this would be a good little run of wins for Coventry against Millwall if they can turn this one around today. There's Honeyman. Fair challenge for me on, I think that was Eccles. May have caught him afterwards, but he won the ball first and it fell to Fleming, whose ball threw into the box. Couldn't find Obafemi. And it's with the goalkeeper. And Eccles has stayed down here. Isn't a great look for Coventry because they've already lost an important central midfielder in Ben Sheaf for 6 to 8 weeks with a hamstring injury. But he won't need medical treatment, I don't think. He's going to get back to his feet. And speak of the devil, and he shall appear. There is Ben Sheaf in the stands to watch on his side as he's out at the moment with that hamstring injury. Former Arsenal player, Ben Sheaf, in their academy system. As it is Coventry to have a throw in here. 10 yards away from the halfway line on the far side with Jay De Silva. Throws it quickly to Binks, who's not being closed down at the moment. Plays a forward pass to Eccles, who looks like he's going to be okay to continue after just being caught on the ankle by Honeyman. But I thought it was a fair challenge. Won the ball first. May have just followed through ever so slightly, but referee didn't give a free kick. Torp looking through towards Hadji Wright. Fantastic interception again by Harding. Finds Denor. Esse looking for a ball through for Obafemi, but nowhere near him again. One back for Coventry on halfway with Eccles. Palmer brought down by Tanganga, and that'll be a free kick. Tanganga disagrees, but the referee's decision is final, and it'll be a quickly taken free kick by Coventry, who made 5 changes from the defeat last week to Norwich. Mark Robbins clearly wasn't happy, and you don't think he'll be best pleased with this so far, because even though I said he won't be too worried, that won't mean he's not happy, because they have had a few chances, but overall, there's something that hasn't quite clicked for Coventry so far today. But yeah, the 5 changes, Thomas, Bidwell, Allen and Sims dropped to the bench, Kitchen out altogether with his red card. But it's not like the last game they played was the defeat. They won in the week in the FA Cup replay to Sheffield Wednesday 4-1. Yes, a slightly different opponent who aren't probably as good on paper as Millwall, but you know, it's not like they're coming straight off the back of this game after a loss. Van Evik down the right-hand side to O'Hare, who will get there before it goes out, and he'll cross it first time. It's a high ball in towards Hadji Wright, who will win the header, and it'll go in wide of the post anyway, but it'll be kept in by the goalkeeper, Matija Sarkic, Montenegrin international. The last time he played for his country was June 2023. He was born in Grimsby, but in his family he'll have Montenegrin descent. And the goalkeeper will clear this one long out of his hands. Up towards Omafemi. Header won by Lati Baudia. Controlled by Honeyman. Loads of room out on the right-hand side for McNamara. And they'll find him here. Towards the final third. He's got 2 players coming over to press him. That's Palmer and De Silva. But he'll go back to Honeyman, who's drifted out to this right-hand side. Lifts the ball forward. Esse will get there. Binks on his back. Tackles him. Last touch off Esse. And that'll be a throw in here for Coventry. Right next to the corner flag on the far side. Romain Esse thought he'd got the first touch and Binks got the final one, but the linesman on that far side gave the throw into Coventry, and they've cleared it forward towards Hadji Wright. Free kick there for Coventry. Just a bit too much holding there from Cooper, and they wanted to take it quickly there, Coventry, but the ball was moving as it was taken. So Andrew Kitchen, the referee, pulls it back, and it'll be a retake for the free kick for Coventry on the halfway line. And Binks will just play it literally a yard in front of Torp so we can get going again. A minute added on as we've hit 45. Millwall lead from a Romain SA goal in the 12th minute. Deflected strike beyond the goalkeeper. As they curl it out to this right-hand side with Van Evik. Forward to Sakamoto. Onto his left foot. Edge of the area. On the angle, he can work across. Header won by Cooper on the penalty spot. Well, as far as Lati Baldia, who heads it back towards Binks, who will play a ball in behind McNamara. Palmer will chase it. Can he get around McNamara? Yes, he can. He'll keep it in as well. It's really well done from Palmer. Cleared by Tanganga, but he did well to avoid the goal kick. Casey Palmer. As the ball is alive midway inside the Millwall half, controlled beautifully by Ndino. Out to the right to Esse. He'll just absolutely belt the ball down the right-hand side. I don't know what he's doing there. Straight through for Collins in the Coventry goal. I know we haven't got long left, so that might have been in his head. That they just clear it and the referee will blow the whistle, which he has done at the moment. And he is the man who separates the two sides. It was a very quick start from Millwall within the first 2 minutes, winning a long throw-in. And that long throw-in resulted in a shot from Honeyman from a couple of yards out, who hit it straight at the goalkeeper. And then a couple of minutes later, in the 5th minute, Haji Wright hit the post. It was a shot on goal by Sakamoto. It was parried by the goalkeeper, Sarkic. And from a couple of yards out, Haji Wright hit the post. And off the post, it hit Tanganga, which then hit the post for a second time, and somehow it didn't go in the back of the net for Coventry. But Millwall continued to stay in the game despite being away from home and struggling at the moment, and they went 1-0 up for Romain Esse, who received the ball after Fleming was tackled by Lati Baldia in the area, and the ball deflected off Lati Baldia across to Esse, who could shoot with his left foot towards goal. It took a slight nick off Louis Binks, which was enough to deceive the goalkeeper, and it smashed the back of the net to give Esse his second goal of the season in only his 3rd ever start for Millwall. And after that, it started to become more of a dominant half for Coventry, having a lot of the possession, getting shots off at goal, but only working 2 on target. And Millwall, in all honesty, have looked pretty settled when defending. They don't look too stressed, they don't look too worried, but they'll have to deal with another 45 minutes of that and more. Will they be able to deal with it? We'll have to wait and see. But at the moment here at the Coventry Building Society Arena, it is Coventry 0, Millwall 1. Interesting first half. Millwall had a really good half. I mean, in terms of having the ball and going forward with it, they had a really good 15 minutes where they were able to score within that time and give themselves something to protect. And for the remaining half an hour of the half, don't get me wrong, it was probably more Coventry with possession and chances, but they dealt with it well. They were lucky to get away with that chance in the 5th minute. Haji Wright from around 5 yards out hitting the post shouldn't have happened. He should have really scored that. But sometimes in games in the Championship, you need a bit of luck on your side. That was Millwall's luck, and they went on and scored 7 minutes later. And Coventry was starting to find their patterns of play and were getting in behind a couple of times down the byline and getting crosses into the box where shots were being taken. And to be fair, we've had a couple of decent saves from Matthias Sarkic and the Millwall goal. But at the moment, they've survived, and I think they're well credited for their lead. They really went at Coventry in the opening 15 minutes, got the lead, and they've defended since, and they've protected that lead. And this will put them 7 points off relegation if they win today, Millwall, which would be a fantastic win for them. It'd only be their 5th win under their new head coach of Joe Edwards. It would put them on 36 points, 9 wins from 31. Their away record in general in the Championship hasn't been great. Just 4 away wins from 15 in the league. 4 losses in the last 7. And they've only won 4, which have come against Middlesbrough on their first game of the season, away at Plymouth, and then to Sheffield Wednesday, which you'd expect, and then Bristol on New Year's Day. So it hasn't been all sunshine away from home for Millwall, but in that first 45 minutes, they are currently leading the game. It is a 5-hour round trip for the away side, and it's that 5-hour round trip feels a bit more like 10 if you walk away from the game with no points. But they've got all 3 at the moment, as it is half time here. Thanks to everyone who's here. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Got another commentary coming later on today, 4:30, where Aston Villa in the Premier League take on Manchester United as they are looking to rebound after their midweek defeat in the FA Cup to Chelsea. We covered that on this channel as well, and Chelsea were absolutely fantastic. It was a really strong performance from Chelsea, and they want more of the same. Chelsea, I believe they play today, or is it tomorrow? I can't quite remember. Yeah, tomorrow. Palace away. Not an easy place to go to. I do apologise for that noise, that background noise. As long as it doesn't come across into the second half, we'll be okay. But Coventry, they were so... I mean, they're still doing so well, but before the loss last week to Norwich, they went unbeaten. From from the 2nd of December to the 3rd of February. So it's 2 months they went unbeaten. But unbeaten runs always come to an end. It's how you pick it back up afterwards, and they've not been able to quite pick it up at the moment. Obviously, behind again, but if they can just... I mean, it's an easy thing to suggest, but Coventry just need to get their creative players in the game more. They've just not been in the game enough at all. The likes of Sakamoto on the right was just starting to get involved more at the back end of the first half when Van Evik was getting further forward. O'Hare was always trying, but he just didn't have any clear runs into the Millwall half. He was just dropping deep and then moving the ball on. Then Casey Palmer on the left was not really getting too involved. Again, not anything down to him. It's just that they've just not been quite able to work the ball to him in dangerous areas. And once they start doing that, and if they start doing that, then you can start seeing Coventry build themselves back into the game. But we're saying this, Coventry have had chances. The biggest one was in that 5th minute. Sakamoto had a shot saved. It was parried straight to Haji Wright, who had a touch and then he shot right towards literally 5 yards out. I don't know how he's hit the post, because I thought the shot had hit Tanganga and then the post, but he hit the post with the first shot, and then off the post it hit Tanganga, then off Tanganga it hit the post again, and then into the goalkeeper's hands. I mean, for Haji Wright, that has got to go in. Don't get me wrong, he's had a fantastic season. He's on 8 for the campaign so far. He's Coventry's top scorer in the Championship, scoring 5 at home and 3 away. But he's got to score that, and then the fact that literally 7 minutes later Millwall go and score, that's the chances you've got to take. But it's been, like I say, the first 15 minutes for Millwall is where the chances came, and they had to defend for the majority of the first half. But that's usually the case when you go 1-0 up away from home, especially when you're the team further down in the table and the home team is a little bit further up. It's that just usual football dynamic. You just naturally start to sit back a little bit more and have to defend. But they've seemed pretty calm when they're defending. My man of the match so far for Millwall is Wes Harding. He's playing at the centre of the back 3 at the moment, or the back 5, which it can become when they're defending deep. He's just such a calm figure at the back. Wes Harding, who did play in the Championship last season with Rotherham and stayed up, playing 43 of the games. He did play a full 46-game season in the Championship with Rotherham in the 2020-2021 season. So he's experienced at this level, Wes Harding, and he's just been that real calming figure at the back, whilst they've obviously been under a lot of pressure with their defending in the first half. As it is Romain Esse, the player who has been the difference so far, only his 3rd ever start, born in May 2005. So he is younger than me, which is a little bit scary. But, seeing these young players come through now, when you grow up and you see these players who are 16, 17 playing in first team football, you think that's so cool. But then when you become that age and you become older, and you start seeing these young players come through and they're younger than you, you're just like, oh my days. It's scary at times. But he's obviously been trusted, and Joe Edwards has clearly got faith in Romain Esse. And the thing is with Joe Edwards, which you need to remember, is he's obviously took up a head coach role here, but his usual role is an out and out coach. Like he's worked under Tuchel, which we mentioned before, and Lampard, but his work on the training pitch is that is all him. So that when it comes to young players, that is his forte, developing young players. So the fact that they're bringing the likes of Esse through, they've also got Adam Mayer on the bench, who they brought in from Morecambe, who's started to play in League One and League Two for the last couple of seasons. He's only 18. The work he can do on him, so it will be very rewarding for Joe Edwards if he's given time at Millwall. I think he can really develop this squad and the younger players that they've got to become really good Championship standard players. As the second half will be getting underway in a couple of minutes' time. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to go and get myself a quick drink, and I'll be back in literally 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere, because we will get the second half started in just a couple of minutes' time. Right, we're back. Let's get a drink there. But the thing is now, with the rest of this season, is where it really does get interesting. This is my favourite part of the year. Once you hit February, that's where it starts getting interesting and getting tense in these games that you play. We've got Champions League returning next week, which we're covering on the channel. Doing Lazio by Munich on the Wednesday, and then we're also doing Europa League on the Thursday, doing AC Milan against Stade Rennais. Because in fairness, the Europa League games that we've got in the playoff round, in terms of an English perspective, because there isn't any English sides in it, and just a European, it's just pretty bad. There's just not very many good games. I had a look at them all because I can't do Tuesday because I'm at a football game myself, so I couldn't do Tuesday. So I'm doing Wednesday and Thursday to cover that. And I was looking at the Europa League and Conference League fixtures for the playoff rounds, because obviously they have a playoff round and then they have the last 16 after. And the games on show they weren't very good. And the best I could find was AC Milan Stade Rennais. So that's the one you're gonna get. So if you're interested in watching that one on Thursday night, you can come and join us. Football from the San Siro, which is a beautiful stadium, by the way. I went in October of last year to Italy, and we went to see the San Siro. We had a tour of it. Oh my days, that stadium is ridiculous. As a football fan, like if you're ever in Italy, or you're in like the north of Italy, you've got to go to Milan and you've got to go to the San Siro, because it is everything you expect. It's absolutely massive. The inside of it is so nice as well. So yeah, we'll be commentating on AC Milan on Thursday. Bayern Munich, who lost last night to Bayer Leverkusen, big hit in the title race for them. We're commentating on them on Wednesday. So lots of commentaries coming. They'll be scheduled at the end of today, so you'll be able to see what games I'll be commentating on next week. But there'll be at least 3 commentaries every week from now till the end of the season, without take away international breaks, because we don't cover international breaks usually on the channel. But Coventry have got it all to do in the second half against a Millwall side who haven't quite lived up to the expectation of what they would have wanted for this season, with the fact that they were so close to the playoffs last season, 1 point off, and they actually lost the last game of the season to Blackburn Rovers, and if they would have won that game and not lost it, they would have got into the playoffs themselves. But they've really took a backward step this season, but they're looking to go forward again with the fact that they're now under Joe Edwards. I think this season their main job is just to stay in the league and then really build a strong squad for next season under Joe Edwards. Still waiting for this second half. Don't know why we're not back underway already. So there we go. Both players are back out. Coventry kicking right to left, Millwall left to right, and we are underway. Referee blows the whistle. That was quick. Went from adverts 1 second, then we're straight back to the action that's next. It'll be Coventry to start us off. And it is in their back four with Louis Binks. Back into the goalkeeper Collins. Forward here to Eccles. Dispossessed there by sorry about that. Millwall had won the ball on the edge of the box, but then they lost it again. Coventry just unnecessary playing out from the back with their goalkeeper Collins, just putting their central midfielder Eccles under unneeded pressure. Like, I'm all for playing out from the back, but sometimes at this level you just got to get rid. Van Evik takes on one player, plays it forward for O'Hare, who's peeled out to his right hand side, forward to Sakamoto. Goes on the outside of Bryan, then onto his left. What a bit of skill here from Sakamoto, who will cross it into the area, and it goes all the way through for a goal kick. It was aimed towards the far post to Hadji Wright, and that's the first time we've really seen Sakamoto on the ball and looking dangerous. Looked like he was going to go on the outside of Bryan, then chopped onto his left foot, sitting down the left wing back. And the cross wasn't a bad one, but Hadji Wright was more focused on grappling with Yafik Tanganga than actually trying to win the header there, and it's gone behind for a goal kick, which has been taken long by Millwall. It's gone straight out of play on the far side for Coventry on the halfway line. Not the greatest of distribution there from Matija Sarkic for Millwall. So it'll be Coventry to build from the back. De Silva back into Binks midway side of the Coventry half. They are pressing a bit better, Millwall, at the start of this second half. They sat back a lot deeper in the first half for the majority of it after getting the lead. Sakamoto passes the halfway, goes inside towards O'Hare. It will eventually drop to him in the end. Sakamoto has gone down, though, after releasing the ball, but he's back to his feet. And Van Evik goes to Lati Baudi. Long ball forward, in behind for Hadji Wright, just slightly overhit, and goes into the hands of the goalkeeper. So Millwall build from the back, rolling it to the left centre half of Cooper. Goes long, high ball forward, straight to Van Evik, who can chest it down. That shows how alone the Coventry full-back was, but they've lost it through Eccles. Now back with Bryan. Across to Harding. Forward to Donor, and then out to the right to Tanganga. Good play that from Millwall. Tanganga strides forward, deep into the Coventry half. Plays it to his right here to McNamara, who will keep it in. Drives to the centre of the field, and then lays it off to Honeyman. Then out to the left here to Bryan. Honeyman again. Hadji Wright tackles from behind, and it's not fair. It's not a fair one according to the referee. Free kick given. He's also had a solid game at George Honeyman in the midfield for Millwall. His only goal last season came against Coventry in the August in that 3-2 win, which was the comeback. He got the equaliser in that one to make it 2-2. And then the man on the bench today, George Saville, got the winner. He's been very solid in that midfield alongside Casper Denor. So it'll be Bryan with the left foot to take it. Coventry's line is on the edge of the box. He'll curl it in there. It's a header won by Binks. Drops to Denor in the area, whose chested touch found Obafemi. And just inside the area, he had a wild strike at it, and it was always rising over the crossbar there from Obafemi. He's had a couple of attempts today. He had 2 on target in the first half, but they were pretty straight at the goalkeeper. That one was wildly over the crossbar. And Collins will clear for Coventry out towards their right-hand side. Header won by Bryan. Straight into that midfield area where it's only Torp in there. So he'll bring it forward for Coventry. He's got SA charging him from behind. But he'll play it out to the left here to De Silva. Wants the 1-2 with O'Hare. Tackled fairly there by Tanganga. McNamara goes back to the goalkeeper Sarkic, who goes first time with the clearance. Up towards Obafemi, who touches it down. He's been pulled down there by Binks. How's that not a free kick? That is shocking officiating. And Coventry can come away. O'Hare to a Sakamoto in the box on the right. Onto his left foot. He strikes it to the near post. Strong save. Hadji Wright on the rebound. He's offside. But the fact that that's not been given as a free kick from the referee is awful. I say this a lot of the streams because I'm just... I don't even know what the word is. Our refs are just rubbish, basically. And I've been very open about that. Obafemi brought the ball down with the touch, and he was being held back by his arm, by Binks. He was pulling his arm back so he couldn't get onto this touch. And then obviously the ball was taken away from Obafemi, and the referee's not seen it. I'm all for the game being letting the game go, but a foul's a foul at the end of the day. And that was a clear one. And Coventry nearly scored from it. Sakamoto came close there. It was a good save down low to his left by Sarkic, as his long ball has been controlled by Fleming, and he'll allow Bryan to take over. In the area, on the left-hand side, he's going to go for a shot which deflects for a corner, which probably isn't the worst of results in the end. Bryan understands that he had options there, but they weren't exactly open options, really. Coventry had men back, so to win a corner from that situation probably isn't the worst of ideas. But there was the likes of Obafemi in there, but finding him would have been probably quite difficult for Joe Bryan, really. But it will be a Millwall corner. I've been very, very, very impressed with so far in the opening 52 minutes of this game. Being in swinger from Honeyman from the far side with his right foot. It's a swinger to the far post where Cooper goes down, and he's not claiming for any penalty there. Just lost his balance at the far post, and he goes through for a goal kick. But Millwall have only drawn one of their last 22 away league visits to Coventry, winning 8 and losing 13. The last 0-0 at Coventry was in October 1988, so we're not going to get 0-0, but these two sides very rarely draw here. There is usually a winner. And at the moment it's Millwall. There's a header won by Tanganga on Palmer from the goal kick, only as far as O'Hare. He's gone to De Silva, the left back. We're now in the Coventry half with O'Hare on the left-hand side. Finds De Silva inside to Torp. To his right to Eccles and back into the Coventry half here to Binks. De Silva wants the 1-2 with Torp there, but De Silva didn't make the run forward, and Torp played the pass forward, and it's gone out for a Millwall throw in here. It's Tanganga to take it. Throws it into the Coventry half looking for SA. Loses out to Binks. Ball stays in at the moment. SA with a ball over the top here. Obafemi will chase it. Van Evik will get there first. That is some pace from Van Evik, who's in the left-back position at the moment. Goes back to Lati Baldia, who can bring it away from the press of Obafemi. Goes forward here to Torp. Tackled by Honeyman. Last touch off Torp. And that'll be a throw-in for Millwall in the final third. And it looks like they're going to get 2 changes ready here. And I didn't think he was going to make this change, because I was literally just thinking about it in my head then. I think he's going to bring off Louis Binks, who's on loan at the moment from Bologna. He's not had a great game. He's just looked a little bit shaky. And I think he'll be replaced by Bobby Thomas here. And they're looking to bring on Ellis Sims as well. Throwing goes long from Tanganga. Header won, though, by Binks. O'Hare will chase it. Bryan gets there first. On this near side, he puts it back into the area, but not really directed to any Millwall shirt. And it's straight back into the hands of Collins, who throws it very far, right onto the halfway line. And it's so far thrown and had such a bounce, it went over the head of Sakamoto. And it's a throw-in for Millwall inside their own half. That is a huge throw there by Brad Collins, who I think actually was getting a little bit of advice there from the goalkeeper coach on the bench. That throw was absolutely massive. Really extended the right arm to throw that one far. And it is with Millwall. Tanganga is clearance deflects off Palmer, headed on by Honeyman, controlled by De Silva, 10 yards inside the Millwall half on the near side. Torp goes through for O'Hare. Now Palmer lets it run across his body and he's tackled fairly by Harding. Loose ball drops here to Esse, who's tackled fairly by De Silva from behind. It's now with Torp again. Back into Eccles, about 10 yards inside the Millwall half. Goes out to the left here to O'Hare. He's got De Silva as an option. Finds him in the final third. 1-on-1 with McNamara. Pass deflects off Esse and it will dribble through for a corner on the near side. Couldn't be avoided by Honeyman, who was chasing that one down, trying to avoid the set piece. So it will be a corner where Coventry will flood the 6-yard area surrounding the goalkeeper. In it goes nearly all the way through, headed off the line there by Fleming, helped on by Denor, straight to Torp, who took the corner, heads it to Palmer, midway side the Millwall half, he gets away from Denor, Eccles takes over. Eccles has got Torp to his left, finds him. First time cross, header won by Harding, drops in the box for Palmer. Can't control it well enough. Cleared in the end by Denor, but only out for a throw-in for Coventry on the far side in that final third. Goalkeeper nearly got lost in no man's land there. That corner nearly swung all the way in, but it was headed away by, I think it was Zian Fleming. As we're going to get two changes here. First one is going to be number 28, Josh Eccles, to come off for Bobby Thomas. So it looks like that we might actually get a Coventry back three here to match up Millwall. So Josh Eccles is off for centre-back Bobby Thomas, who was dropped to the bench after last week's performance against Norwich. And then Casey Palmer, who's just not been able to quite get in the game today, number 45. He'll come off for Ellis Sims. So we've got two out-and-out strikers on for Coventry, two big players up there. So this will be extra pressure for those three centre-backs for Millwall, who have had a pretty easy day so far up front, at the back, against those two, against Hadji right up front. As Van Evik's pass deflects out for a corner here for Coventry. The pressure continues to build. So straight off the bench, Bobby Thomas straight in the area to try and get this goal back for Coventry as they still trail. It's going to be a floater again to the far post towards Ellis Sims. The goalkeeper parries it. Goes straight through to the far side here, to the near side, to Binks. Back to O'Hare. De Silva forward from left back. Binks again. And with his left foot, will cross it. Header won by Cooper. Back towards Binks, who will head it forward. Straight to Honeyman, who will clear it down the Millwall right. It'll give something for Obafemi to chase, but it'll be Van Evik to get there first and goes back to his goalkeeper of Collins. And then out to Binks at left centre-back here, as it does look like they've probably gone to a back three here. Coventry. Torp. Ball over the top down the left-hand side. No one's really chasing it. O'Hare all right. And through for Sarkic, the goalkeeper. So again, Millwall haven't done a great deal going forward, but they're defending pretty calmly at the back for the moment. Millwall have lost 5 of their last 7 league away games, winning 1 and drawing the other. That is as many as they picked up in their previous 20 away games beforehand. They'd won 9 and drawn 6, so they don't usually have a run this poorly away from home, but this season has just been poor in general for Millwall. They have to defend again here. Midway side the Millwall half is Sakamoto on the far side. Goes to his left here. To Van Evik. Then to the left to De Silva. 1-1-2 with Hadji right, who has it again here. Goes inside. To Lati Baudia. Forward to O'Hare, tries the back heel, can't find Torp, cut out on the edge of the area by Harding. It's now Fleming. Misplaced pass forward to Obafemi, cut out by Binks. O'Hare's header out wide has been cut out here, and Fleming receives the ball on the left. Last touch off Van Evik. And it's going to be a throw-in for Millwall, 10 yards inside the Coventry half on the far side, in front of the technical area of Millwall, right in front of Joe Edwards. Joe Bryan with the throw-in. Casper Denor can't control, cleared by Bobby Thomas into the Millwall half, where Ellis Sims flicks on towards Hadji Wright, forces the rush clearance for another throw-in there by Wes Harding. It looks like Millwall are going to make 2 changes of their own, surely, with Duncan Watmore and Tom Bradshaw. So Van Evik on the halfway line with this throw-in. Throws it across to Binks. Good throw there. Essay had been dragged in, so he has to try and race across to try and close down Binks. He's up towards him now, but he can release it before he's tackled. Binks into De Silva. Ball back inside now for Lati Baudia. Sims, first time touch towards Torp. Keeps it away from McNamara. Torp, he's got everything to his right here for Coventry. Goes back in the end here to Binks. Back out left here to Torp. Now De Silva, who's spreading the pitch wide. O'Hare, back into De Silva. Into the final third we go. De Silva, not got many options around him at the moment, but he keeps the ball away from McNamara. Finds O'Hare again, into the box for Wright. Touch, can't shoot. Torp will. It deflects wide, and that should be a corner for Coventry. He's probably been their best player so far today, Victor Torp, trying to make things work in that midfield. Usually the goal-scoring midfielder, scored 7 times last season in the 2023 campaign for Sarpsborg in Denmark. And he'll go across to the far side to take this corner, Victor Torp. Less than half an hour to play of the 90. It's been all Coventry in the second half. Again, it's more of a floating ball to the far post where the goalkeeper keeps a hold of it. He dropped it the first time, Sarkic, but then got onto it the second time. The ball went in towards Lati Baudia, the captain. But it was confident goalkeeping to pluck it out of the air and keep a hold of it on the floor. So Sarkic, the goalkeeper, will kick it out of his hands here. Down the Millwall left, looking for Fleming. It goes over Van Evik's head and Fleming and out for a Coventry throw-in. We're going to get those double changes now. So the current match winner, Romain Esse, who came through the Millwall Academy, is a current England under-19 international. He's got the winner at the moment. Fleming driving into the area from the left-hand side. He was tackled by Lati Baudia, but the loose ball dropped to Esse, who shot with his left foot, deflected off Binks and into the back of the net, but he'll definitely go down as an Esse goal, second of the season. First in the opening day against Middlesbrough in a 1-0 away win. At the moment, he might be scoring the only goal in another 1-0 away win. He'll be replaced by Duncan Watmore, number 19 for Millwall, who's only got the 1 goal so far himself this season in the Championship. And then we'll have a like-for-like swap up front as Michael Obafemi, who's still waiting for his first goal in a Millwall shirt. He'll be replaced by Tom Bradshaw, who's got the 4 so far this season in the Championship. Got 3 and 5 in December from the 13th to the 29th, but he's dropped off again for the goals. They'll need him to score as he's already got 4 in 11 previously against Coventry. 1 away from home in a 1-0 win back in the 21-22 season. So back underway. Binks heads forward towards Torp. It will just about reach the midfielder. Beats Honeyman to it. And O'Hare takes over on the halfway line. Down the left to right. In the area. Wants it on his right foot. Gets it on his right foot. Tries to shoot. He's off balance. The ball drops to Harden, who can clear it on the penalty spot. Play back forward here though to right. Tackled by Denor. It's now with Lati Baudia 25 yards out. Works it to his right to Van Evik. Lati Baudia again. Forward to O'Hare. Round the corner for Sims. Just deflects off his leg. And away here to Watmore, who is fouled there by De Silva. And that'll be a free kick for Coventry. Well won there by Duncan Watmore. Former England under-21 international, now at the age of 29. Joined in January of last year from Middlesbrough. Never scored against Coventry and he's only beat them once off the bench for Middlesbrough away from home in the 2020-2021 season. So it's a Millwall free kick. It's deep in their own half, but they're going to have launched this forward with the goalkeeper. That is a humongous kick. What is that? All the way through to Collins in the goal in the 6-yard box. That was a massive kick from Sarkic. Too big for the Millwall players. It went over them. Oh, the throw from Collins. Cut out by the head of Fleming. Bradshaw back to Fleming again. His touch isn't great. Gets away from him and the clearance isn't much better. Still alive for Millwall in the Coventry half with McNamara, who's come across to the left-hand side from right wing-back. Lays it off to Cooper on the halfway line. Forward to Bradshaw as it was dummied by Fleming. And it goes through to the goalkeeper, Collins. Whose pass is a little bit risky. It does work its way to De Silva in the end. Nearly intercepted by Watmore, who's got off to a quick start since coming off the bench a couple of minutes ago. O'Hare on halfway. Goes back here to Latibaldia in the centre circle. Millwall set up defensively to defend as a unit. Latibaldi's been forced to go back to Binks. Out to the left to De Silva. Forward to Hadji Wright. Back into De Silva. It's now with Latibaldia. Right. Inside to O'Hare. It's now Torp. Through for Wright in the box who can turn. Can't shoot as Tanganga challenges him and that'll be a penalty kick. Given away by Yaphet Tanganga. Hadji Wright wins it. And those patterns of play for Coventry just about came into play there. Torp forward to Hadji Wright, who just got across Tanganga, who tried to kick the ball away, but instead caught the man. Easy decision for the referee to give a penalty, just a tangle of legs. Good forward play, though, from Hadji Wright to get his body in front of Tanganga, who clearly caught the American striker. It's clear as day. It's an easy decision, and he can't have complaints. And after such a solid defensive performance from everyone at the back for Coventry, but for Millwall, against his Coventry side, but Tanganga's also done a decent job, but a lapse of concentration. He's given a penalty away here for Hadji Wright. This will be his 9th of the season in the Championship. Can he dispatch from 12 yards? He won the penalty. Will he score it? It's quite a straight run up at the moment. He'll just go out to the left to make the angle. Hadji Wright, from the spot, slots it down the middle. It's a very calm penalty from the number 11. And eventually, after long periods of domination, Coventry have their equaliser. It'll be very frustrating for Millwall and Joe Edwards as they've been undone through a penalty. A foul given away by Tanganga in the box. He did try and win the ball, but Hadji Wright got his body in front of him and he clearly caught the Coventry number 11, who slots away. He scored in the week against Sheffield Wednesday in the FA Cup replay. He's now scored again from the spot this time. And it's a clear as day penalty given away by Tanganga. And with a quarter of the game to play, it's Coventry 1, Millwall 1. And that's the thing for Millwall. They've had such a period of the game where they've not really done much attacking. They've got to try and turn that back on now where they can hurt this Coventry defence if they can. Bryan down the left is caught there by Sakamoto. Free kick for Millwall. On the far side, it's about 15 yards inside the Coventry half, so it's quite far away, but we know Millwall like to try and take advantage of these free kicks where they can just launch it into the area. So Bryan will take it. It'll need to be a good cross. And it goes into the area, flicked away by Thomas through to Watmore on the on this near side for Millwall. 1-1-2 a Honeyman. Yeah, the pass comes off Simms' hand. That'll be another free kick for Millwall, a bit closer this time, and on the opposite flank. It's on the right-hand side this time. But another superb opportunity for a cross. Had no complaints there. Ellis Simms, who knew that that ball had just flicked off his hand as the ball was tried to be played down the line there by Honeyman. And this time he will now take this free kick. Honeyman will take it. It's a whip ball and it's into a great area and it's just avoided the run of Captain Cooper. And behind for a goal kick. That is a beautiful ball from Honeyman, who's had a solid game in that midfield. Right into that corridor of uncertainty. It just bounced in front of Cooper on the 6-yard line, who threw himself at it but couldn't create contact with the ball. And it goes behind for a goal kick. But that is Millwall's best chance of this second half for sure. Jake Cooper coming so close, but they've got defending to do. O'Hare's been found. He gets away from Cooper. O'Hare running at the defence. He's got Haji Wright to his left. He finds him in the area. Haji Wright with the shot! And he's scored a brace, Haji Wright. It's his second brace of the season. And within minutes of scoring his first, he's bagged his second. He's give Coventry a lead. From defence to attack within a second. Millwall just had a beautiful opportunity with Jake Cooper with the cross. It went behind for a goal kick. And from the goal kick, they've gone from back to front so quickly. And it's all unravelled here for Millwall away at Coventry. The goal kick was taken to the right centre half of Thomas, who went forward to O'Hare, who found space in between the lines. How he was allowed to receive the ball in so much space, I do not know. Drives into the Millwall half, playing it to the left to Haji Wright, who's just peeled out towards the left-hand side. And he was allowed to take the shot on first time. He opened up the body looking like he was going to shoot to the far post, but wrapped it inside to the near post. Sarkic got a hand to it, but couldn't keep it out. Just slowly rolled over that white line into the back of the net. Haji Wright has a second. It's his second brace of the season. His first came in a 3-2 loss against Preston in November. Now he's got one as they lead here. And he's in double figures for the season in the Championship. It's his 10th in the league. And it's Coventry 2, Millwall 1, and it's all gone wrong for Joe Edwards within a matter of minutes. Haji Wright with both of them, one from the spot. A nice finish in the area, an assist from O'Hare, who we know can be that dangerous when he's given the time and the space, and Millwall gave him that, unfortunately, and it's cost them a goal. Coventry now lead, and they are in the playoff spots on goal difference at the moment. As Millwall have gone from having all 3 points to having none in literally 2-3 minutes. 3 minutes, the difference between the two goals. As Harding is lost out to Ellis Sims on the halfway line. O'Hare now on the left, lays it off to Haji Wright, who keeps it in. Enters the final third. He's got everything to his right here, Haji Wright. Honeyman's behind him. Towards the corner flag, he turns away from him. Haji Wright pulls it across. Torp on his left foot. He strikes it. It deflects over the crossbar and behind. It comes off Tanganga. It is just all going wrong for Millwall. Coventry have stepped it up. Victor Torp getting away from the challenger Fleming and shooting towards goal, and Tanganga, who gave the penalty away, nearly scored an own goal. But over the bar it went for a corner. Torp over it, who we have discovered tonight. Not say tonight. Today, he's got a fantastic cross and set piece on him. Cross goes in from Torp, in swinger. Header won to the far post by Bobby Thomas, but a couple of yards wide. Goal kick for Millwall. And it looks really, if the result's going to go any way, it's probably going to be Coventry to score another. Even though Millwall need the goal, they've been so defensive for the majority of this game that I think they've lost the know-how of attacking, because they haven't done it for so long, and Coventry are so dominating, so settled on the ball at the moment in their possession. And if Coventry can score a third, that will probably be that for the game. As O'Hare, tackled by Denor. Loose ball drops out to the Coventry left to Binks, who sends it forward. It's a high ball towards Sakamoto, who will challenge the goalkeeper, who drops it. Sakamoto can't quite take it off him. It's a good recovery from the goalkeeper, who kicks out quickly. Forward looking for Bradshaw. Header away by Thomas. Cutting out the long ball, because if he missed that Bobby Thomas, it was straight through for Bradshaw in the box, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. Vital interception from the centre-back, who came off the bench as a substitute before the 2 goals were scored. Millwall have the ball in the final third with McNamara. Track turn on De Silva. Keeps it away from the Coventry left back here and plays it into Honeyman. He crosses it into the area and no one's really there for Millwall to attack it. And I think that's flicked off the head of Bobby Thomas. That should be a corner for Millwall. I don't think it will be. I'm sure that took a touch off a Coventry player. Oh, obviously not. Must be wrong. Let's have a look. Honeyman crossed. Did that come off the head of Bobby Thomas? They're slowing it down. Oh, I don't know. Can't quite tell, really. I don't think it did. He went for the header. It looked like he may have just flicked off the back of his head, but referee says no. So it'll be a goal kick here for Coventry. This is where they scored the second goal. Building from a goal kick. It went to Bobby Thomas, who then found O'Hare in the midfield. He dribbled into the Millwall half and played it through for Hadji Wright. Literally, it took 3 passes for Coventry to score. They go long this time to Hadji Wright, who flicks it inside towards O'Hare. Cleared by Cooper. Controlled by Lati Baldia, who can work it to O'Hare here in the centre circle. Out to the right to Van Evik. Getting forward from right back. Plastered it left-footed. Sakamoto lays it off for O'Hare, who goes down on the edge of the box, and nothing will be given. Sakamoto keeps it in on the byline. Tackled though by Brian, who on the corner flag himself is pulled down, and that's got to be a free kick, and it will be. Free kick for Millwall in a left-back position. O'Hare went down over a challenge there, and it's a slight bit of contact, but not enough for him to go down the way he did. And that is a... Yeah, no, not for me. He ran into Honeyman more than anything. Wouldn't say that was a foul, and it wasn't given, and eventually Millwall won the free kick, and they've sent it down the left-hand side, but they can't even keep it in play. That is a horrific free kick. You've got to be doing better than that, really. It's not even like a Millwall player headed it out or anything. It went straight out of play from the free kick that was taken. Van Evik takes the throw-in towards Sims. Can't quite keep it away from Cooper. Millwall go back to their goalkeeper of Sarkic. You've got 14 minutes left to play, plus added on time. Coventry have done the comeback for the minute. Here's the header away from Bobby Thomas. Drops straight to Honeyman on the halfway line. It's now with Denor. His pass comes off Van Evik. Loops in the air. Van Evik chests it down for Sakamoto, who volleys it forward deep into the Millwall half. Sims will chase it. He'll challenge for it, and he'll head it behind Hadji Wright. Comes to McNamara for Millwall in the end, who goes backwards to keep possession here with Tanganga. And into the midfield to Denor. About 10 yards away from halfway. Cooper. Forward for Fleming. It's now with Denor. 1-2 with Fleming, who then tries to send it down the left towards Bradshaw, who will chase it down, but it's too heavy hit. And they'll go for a Coventry throw-in on the far side. It's right next to the corner flag. So Millwall can push up the field here and try and win the ball back in a dangerous position. But before that, they'll make 2 changes. One of them is George Honeyman in that midfield, who's been one of the better players today for Millwall, but he's probably just ran his race there. He's been non-stop in that midfield for Millwall, and he'll be replaced by number 23 of George Saville. And Zian Fleming, one of Millwall's better players, comes off because he's not really done a lot today, and he'll be replaced by number 12, Adam Mayer, who was signed on the 31st of January from Morecambe for £300,000. The current League Two side were relegated last season, where he scored 3 goals in that campaign in League One, and he also scored 3 in League Two. 3 in League Two this season. His last against Grimsby on the 11th of November. So got some defending to do here. De Silva charging away for Coventry down the left, holding up the ball, bringing in O'Hare. A couple of 1-2s between De Silva and O'Hare. Millwall have the players back. Coventry also have bodies forward, but they'll just settle down with a bit of build up here before they try and get in behind this Millwall defence. O'Hare on halfway. Into Lati Baldia. Finds De Silva. Across to Thomas. Van Evik's on the right. They find him in the Millwall half. Loads of room on the far side. Goes inside with a lifted ball towards Lati Baldia. Loses the header to Tanganga. Drops to Sakamoto, whose cross goes in towards Hadji Wright. And it is headed over the bar from the American, who's looking for his first hat-trick for Coventry. He's now on 11 goals for the season in all competitions. Did score in the week against Sheffield Wednesday in the FA Cup replay. Ball goes long for Millwall into the Coventry half. Bradshaw will meet it. No, he won't. Bobby Thomas prods it behind for a Millwall throw-in. Midway side, the Coventry half on the far side. Thought Bradshaw was going to get there first, but Thomas was aggressive enough to get the foot in first. Taken short, the throw-in. It's now with Brian. Back into Denor. The switch is on to the right-hand side. Look for McNamara, who can control it on the edge of the area. 1-on-1 with De Silva. Goes back here into Saville. Then out to the right to Watmore. Saville. Denor, midway inside the Coventry half, works out to the left here to Bryan. There is bodies in the box. He's been given time to cross it. It's a low one. It bounces in front of Van Evik. And the best he can do is divert away for a corner. Remember, there's only one goal in it, so Millwall will still fancy their chances of picking up a draw if possible, despite being in front for large parts of the game before a brace from Haji Wright has given Coventry a 2-1 lead. Cross goes in, outswinger, controlled by Saville, but then he fouls Sims, who got himself in front of the ball. And it's unfortunate there from Saville, who was given enough time and space in the box there from a corner to control it. That's how poor the marking was there from Coventry. But as he controlled it, the ball just got away from Saville and he's gone to swing at the ball, but he's caught Sims instead and gives away the free kick in the Coventry 18-yard box. We've got 10 minutes plus added on time left to defend this lead. So it will be the goalkeeper, Brad Collins, to take it. Who spent 9 years at Chelsea. Signed on a scholarship in the summer of 2013. As he sends it out to the Coventry left, deep into the Millwall half. It's cut out by Tanganga, volleyed forward by De Silva towards Sims, who tries to flick it in behind for O'Hare. But it's dealt with by Harding and then cleared by Cooper up to the halfway line. Dealt with by the knee of Van Evik. Drops here to Denor. Loses out to Lati Baudia. Tackled by Saville, who's then tackled again by Lati Baudia, and O'Hare will come away with it. Running out towards the left and lays it off to Haji Wright. Carbon copy of the second goal. This time on his left. Tight angle. It comes off the goalkeeper. Through to O'Hare. On this near side. Slips on the edge of the box, but and can't keep it away from Saville. Now McNamara, who clears it down the Millwall right. And it goes through here towards Watmore. Loses out to Binks, who slams that clear, and it stays in here towards Haji Wright, who can't control it, through for a goal kick for Millwall. As they are still just about in this game, but from around the 20th minute onwards, it's been all Coventry. But Millwall haven't lost and haven't won any of their last 4 championship games, drawing to Preston, then losing to Middlesbrough, QPR and Hull. And in every game they have won, they have kept a clean sheet. Millwall this season in the games they've won. But this does slip Coventry into the playoff spots at the moment. 2 points off West Brom, who are in 5th, and then 13 off Ipswich in 4th. It's on the halfway line, far side. Van Evik forward to Sakamoto. Tackled there by Bryan. No. Oh, foul's gone the other way. Bryan was pulled down there by Sakamoto. And that'll be a free kick for Millwall on the far side, midway inside their own half. And knowing the way that Millwall play, they'll probably send this one long. So some defensive work for Coventry to do. And it will be the goalkeeper just slam this forward as far as possible. As it will float forward towards Cooper. Heads it on into the area where Bradshaw will chase it, but it will go into the hands of Cooper first. Good goalkeeping off his line there by Brad Collins, whose last season in the Championship at Barnsley ended in relegation. This one might be slightly different this season for the 26-year-old, whose birthday is coming up next week on the 18th of February. Will turn 27. Brad Collins is Coventry have got it down the left-hand side. Torp tackled by McNamara. Forward now by Mayer into Watmore. Down the right-hand side here into the final third. I've got many options with him. He's got Saville behind and he'll play it to Saville. He will go across to the Millwall left here to Cooper. Sims getting back to close down, but he can release the ball before Sims gets there. Down the line for Mayer. Turns Van Evik, but then tackled fairly. Throwing for Millwall, who have got a long throw in through Yafit Tanganga, and they will utilise that now. from the far side. They'll throw this into the 18-yard box. The point is still available here for Millwall. It's not over yet. Tanganga throws it in there to the near post. Header won by Sims very confidently. He'll come back out to Tanganga. He's been forced all the way back into his own half here to the goalkeeper, Sarkic. He will just clip this one forward towards Bradshaw. Heads it on into the area towards Watmore, cut out by De Silva. He quickly clears away, and it's out for a Millwall throwing on the far side with left-back Brian, as we've got just over 5 minutes left to play here. But before that Norwich game, where they lost, Coventry had gone 10 unbeaten in the Championship, winning 6, 3 of them at home and then drawing 4. That's why they are right within those playoff spots now. Mayer crosses early for Millwall towards the far post. It's been flicked away here by De Silva. Still alive though for Millwall with McNamara, the right wing back. It's now with Denor. To his left to Tanganga. Turns away from O'Hare and then goes across towards the left to Cooper. Brian. Can Mayer cross it? He can work across with his left foot. Bradshaw with the header through towards McNamara. Collins has come for it and he just about handles it in the area. And Coventry can calm it down here. Not a bad ball there from Adam Mayer. Off the bench today. To make his Millwall debut after signing from Morecambe on the 31st of January. Tanganga wins the header from the clearance from Collins. Flicked on by McNamara. Flicked forward with the boot of Torp. Cleared by Denor. Headed by Binks. Down the Coventry left. Sims will chase it. Harding gets there first. Falls towards the corner flag and his clearance isn't great. Straight out of play for a throw in here for Coventry as they're trying to kill the game down as much as possible. As this would be a huge 3 points in terms of momentum for Coventry to rebound from their loss last week away at Norwich. And the 2 goals they have scored today, Coventry, has meant that under Mark Robbins in his Championship career, he has now been in charge of 400 Championship goals, including the playoffs. So it's a Millwall goal kick here as Coventry gave the ball away there on the left-hand side. Headed away though by Lati Baldia, headed forward by Tanganga, controlled by Torp. Goes through down the left for Hadji Wright, who's on a hat-trick. Can he beat Tanganga to it? He won't. Tanganga deals with it and can't avoid the corner, though. Nearly got it out for a throw-in with the clearance, but he just slipped almost and couldn't quite clear out for a throw-in. So it will be a corner on the near side for Millwall with 3 minutes to play. It will be Victor Torp to take it. He's been a threat all day with these set pieces. Torp to take, left arm raised, in it goes, back post. Thomas wants to win the header, comes off Brian instead, and Millwall need to clear it, and they do try and go long, but it's just a slice clearance. Another throw-in for Coventry in the Millwall half on that far side. They've just not been able to do any. Once Coventry got in control of this game, which came around 20 minutes in, Millwall have really struggled to attack this Coventry team, who are so good at home. Just the one loss so far at home this season in the league. Game against West Brom. This will be their 7th win at home in 15. As Van Evik overruns it. Kept in by Brian on the corner flag. It's now with Denor. Needs to clear it. Does with his left foot. Finds Watmore. Into the path towards Mayer. Loses out to Thomas, who keeps it in and plays it down the right to Sakamoto. Keeps away from one Millwall player and then goes back to Torp, but Sakamoto was fouled as he released it, and it'll be a free kick given by the referee. Joe Edwards, it looks like it's going to be another game without a loss. There'll be no wins in their last 6 now for Millwall, who are just hovering over those relegations places. They've got to be careful. Back into the Coventry half with Bobby Thomas, now with the goalkeeper Collins on the edge of the area. Plays it out to the left. It's a high ball into the Millwall half. It's not going to be controlled by Hadji Wright. Just goes under his foot there. It's going to be a throw-in for Millwall. Throw-in's gone to Wes Harding. Back into the goalkeeper Sarkic and across to Cooper at left centre-back, who leaves the 18-yard area and plays a pass out to the left to Brian and then receives the ball back, Cooper. Then into the goalkeeper in the 18-yard area. Need to try and get it forward, Millwall, if possible. So now with the goalkeeper again in the 6-yard box. Out to the left to Cooper, the captain, who came close at 1-1 to getting Millwall in front as he finds Bradshaw with a long ball, heads it out to the left and it goes away from Mayer. And it's going to be a throw-in for Coventry, midway inside their own half. Now with McNamara, right wing back for Millwall, back into Tanganga. It's all in the Millwall half in the minute when they've got the ball. 3 minutes added on, so not long added by the referee. We haven't had many stoppages in fairness. As again, Mayer tackles Van Evik. It's a late one. It's going to be a free kick for Coventry. And that's the thing, when Millwall have got the ball, which they haven't had a lot of in the game, it's in their own half, and Coventry are so good at pressing and just forcing them to not go far forward. Then when they do go forward, it's usually Coventry to win it back straight away. Coventry free kick. We've got just over 2 minutes to play as we've had 3 added on, so they will take their time here. Coventry, that is for sure. Torp is over it. He's just going to play it out to the right-hand side towards Ellis Sims. Loses out on the header. And he goes through to the goalkeeper, Sarkic. Not great there. Sarkic clears it. Right-footed. Deep into the Coventry half. The flick on needs to be won by Cooper, but Bobby Thomas wins it for Coventry instead. But then Torp can't get it clear. Denor fouled there by Lati Baudia. This gives an opportunity for Millwall to get it in the box. It was won by Casper Denor. And the real threat from Millwall since their first goal has been through free kicks. They've been launching a lot of them in the box because they have got players in there with aerial threat, no more so than Jake Cooper at 6'6". But it's about 15 yards inside the Coventry half. It's on the left-hand side, so it'll be the left foot of Brian to cross this in. It's a high line from Coventry outside the 18-yard box. In it goes towards Cooper, who heads it on. It's headed away by Sims to the edge of the area. Tanganga heads it back in. And then the header multiple times. Ball drops in the end towards Watmore. Tackled by Binks. Cleared out for a throw-in for Millwall. Well dealt with there by Louis Binks because that was a little bit chaotic in the area. So it's going to be a Tanganga throw-in with 30 seconds to go. This might be it. Millwall's final opportunity. Throw-in goes in. Drops to the box to McNamara, who needs to work across. It's a low one. It's well dealt with there by Lati Baudia. Coventry push up. The ball dropped to Saville. 20 seconds to play. Brian back to his right to Saville on the halfway line. Needs to get the ball in the box here. He'll put a ball in there. Flicked on by Harding. Header won by Sakamoto on the edge of the area. Towards Lati Baudia. Then Sakamoto again gets it away into the Millwall half. We've played the 3 minutes of added on time here. And that is where the referee will blow full time. And it finishes here. Coventry 2, Millwall 1. Mark Robbins' side defeats Joe Edwards as it's now no win since New Year's Day for Millwall. They stay right around those relegation places. They are 4 points off the drop. But for Coventry, that 3 points has put them into the playoff positions on goal difference. They had to come from behind, but it's a very dominant home display. And once Coventry got going, it was very difficult for Millwall to stop them. But Millwall did take the lead in the 12th minute through Romain Esse. Only his third ever start for the club. Scores his second goal of the season since the first game of the season against Millwall in a 1-0 away win, but that time and this time he couldn't make it stick and the victory wasn't brought home. It was 2 goals from Haji Wright in 2 minutes for Coventry, one from the spot, brought down by Tanganga, easily given penalty by the referee. And he scored a second a couple of minutes later from the back, from the goalkeeper. He played it to Bobby Thomas, who got it forward to the halfway line to O'Hare, who was allowed to drive forward deep into the Millwall half before releasing it to his left to Haji Wright, who first time wrapped it in towards the near post. The keeper got a hand to it but couldn't keep it out. And it went from Millwall leading to Millwall trailing within a matter of 3 minutes, but it was deserved from Coventry because they dominated the game, had plenty of chances, plenty of the ball, and eventually they were able to break the Millwall defence, but they did it twice in quick succession. For Millwall, they'll have positives to take. They had a great 20 minutes, but once they set up defensively, they couldn't get out of their own half for the majority, struggled to create many chances in the second half that were dangerous ones to try and cause this upset victory on Coventry, and in the end here it ends 2-1. Hope you did enjoy. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're commentating again later on today. It's Aston Villa, Manchester United in the Premier League. Make sure you're here for that one. But here at the Coventry Building Society Arena. Millwall went ahead early on, 1-0. They had to defend for the rest of the game. They couldn't do it till the end. They conceded 2 in 3 minutes from Haji Wright, 1 from the spot, 1 from open play. He's now on 10 for the season in the Championship. 7 of them have been scored at home. And Coventry move up to the playoffs as they win here at home. It's Coventry 2, Millwall 1.